The last thing I wanted to touch on, you got a little fired up last time we brought this up. So Jaden Davis, current Michigan commit, was named to the Elite 11 for 2023 this year after, some I don't even know what I want to call it, just chaos of opinions. He's been a polarizing prospect for a while. But over the weekend, there was stuff coming out good and bad. And of course, every fan base, him and Aaron Noland at Ohio State and Dylan Raiola, who's now at Georgia, and CJ Carr, who's at Notre Dame. These guys are going to be linked together for a very long time because of how their recruitments went, right? But you've been pretty passionate about not caring what a guy does in shorts, right? Come Sunday or Saturday, whatever the third day was, I don't even remember now. They did 7-on-7. They played some actual football, and Jaden Davis was the number one performer. He was 11 of 15, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. I'm not shocked by that when it came to football, that Jaden Davis was really good. I've said over and over again that Davis is a guy who is really good at the things that are either hard to teach or you can't teach. On the field, that's literally the most difficult throws, which is the 10-yard out to the sideline, the corner in the end zone, right? And he's a leader, and he's a hard worker. Everybody who speaks to him or watches an interview with him is just blown away by his maturity, his articulation, and just the way he looks at things. His football IQ, he runs a difficult offense. I've talked about this. He's under center. He's in pistol. He's in shotgun. He's making pre and post snap reads, right? He might not show this freakish arm talent that they're going to come in and then have to get coached up. But he could play as a freshman legitimately because he's so good at the things that are hard for quarterbacks to be good at. He's the anti-Joe Milton. I don't mean that as a shot on Milton, but Milton could have been in some type of carnival show, selling tickets for how far he could throw a football. Dude just had an absolute cannon, but they knew he was raw, that he didn't play in a complex offense. It is probably going to take a few years for him to take off. And here we are. He might be a stud this year at Tennessee years and years later, whatever. But anyway, oh my God, he made the Elite 11. Life goes on. And the dude was great when it came to playing actual football. What is this obsession with nitpicking Jaden Davis?
Because he goes to Michigan, or he's committed to Michigan.
That's crazy.
That's it. Jaden Davis is an elite quarterback. Wow. Shocker. Here, breaking news here on the Maize and Blue Review on YouTube. Jaden Davis is an elite quarterback. You don't need a silly display in shorts and a t-shirt to understand that the guy can play ball when it matters in game-like settings. You've got a guy throwing a pass down the field to a guy streaking in the shorts and shirts down the field, and you're not as accurate. However, in a game-like setting, you are. Well, duh. That's what he is. That's what Jaden Davis is. He's a gamer. He's a game-like quarterback who performs well under pressure in games. And whatever he does in shorts, in shirts, I don't care. I do not care. The whole event is stupid. It's just a way. It's just a way for fan bases to get on Twitter or social media and to talk about how their teenage quarterback is better than your teenage quarterback. It's ridiculous. It doesn't have any impact on what this player is going to do once you put pads on him and put him out in a college offense. It has nothing to do. Their criteria of what they're looking for, it has no bearing on what a college coach is looking for. And Jaden Davis is a 5-star quarterback for a reason. And, say what you will about him sliding down the rankings or whatever, but the guy can play, and he's proven to be one of the elite in the country with the rest of his 12 quarterbacks in the Elite 11. What? There's 12 quarterbacks in Elite 11. Make it make sense. The whole thing is stupid. It's just for clicks. It's just to make your, the silly little clips on Twitter saying, oh, Aaron Noland is on fire. Fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji, as he throws a pass to a slanting wide receiver with nothing out there. It's stupid. It's dumb. It makes no sense. It's just for social media, and just give me what the quarterback does in pads. The dude won a state championship in one of the toughest leagues in the state. That's all that matters to me. It's all that matters. And we'll see him do the same thing when he's at Michigan. He's going to win games. And no one's going to give a damn about what he did out in California one weekend in June when he was a senior in high school, or a rising senior in high school. It's stupid. It's dumb. I hate it. But I get it. At the same time, I get it. You have to scout these guys. But
look, if he won Elite 11, we'd be propping him up for it. I'm not saying we wouldn't be.
No, but
right? But here's my thing. He went into last year, and what was the biggest knock on him? His completion percentage and his accuracy, right? And the dude worked his tail off and posts was it 73% completion percentage last year? Wins North Carolina Gatorade Player of the Year, wins a state championship, does all these things, literally looks people in the face like, oh, this is my problem. This is what you have against me. Boom. It's a strength now, right? And people are blown away by that. 5-star, number 1 quarterback in the class at one point. And then it's like the season stopped. And some of these other dudes started committing to bigger schools, like Aaron Nolan's rise up the recruiting rankings, right? Like, oh, we just missed him, but since Ohio State got him, now he's better, right? Because of these camp things. Like, that's all that kills me. It can be part of the equation, but please, can we stop ignoring what he did on the field, right? And can we stop talking about, again, I brought this up earlier with Kahapana. Why are we acting like development stops at high school?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
When in the world did this start happening where it's like, this is who he is now, right? I've talked about the arm power thing. I think it's a simple mechanic issue. The kid doesn't use his feet a ton. He throws a lot with his arm. And some of it's deliberate. You can tell it's because he has touch. You can tell how he uses his feet and hips to take off of throws a little bit and get a little air under it, whatever. There's no doubt in my mind when Kirk Campbell and former 14-year NFL quarterback Jim Harbaugh get a hold of him, we're going to see some improvement. With JJ, it was the opposite, right? It was reeling him in a little bit, getting a little bit more touch, not always throwing the fastball. Davis might be the opposite, but these dudes can get developed. They're not done yet, right? So, like, maybe somebody has a larger skill set than him right now. I don't know. I love what he has upstairs. I love his football IQ. I love his character. I love his leadership. And I love, like you said, the way he reacts to pressure. I'm somebody who doesn't think clutch is fake. I know people talk about there's no such thing as clutch. I've seen clutch. There's just dudes that show up sometimes. They play better when the heat's on, man. And the it factor, all these cliches. Jaden Davis has it to me. And maybe I'll be wrong when he gets here. I don't know. But I'm just sick of people trying to bury the kid. I think it's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, it's weird behavior.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But, I want to point this out, too. Why does winning a high school state championship matter? Show me a 5-star quarterback who's a loser and doesn't win any games. Then, what? You want a quarterback that wins. You want a quarterback that can show they can lead a team that wins. Yes, it matters. Yeah, I want to recruit a quarterback who's lost every game of his high school career, plays in a crap farm division out in rural Montana, and I want to recruit him to Michigan, who's lost every game, who has no sense of winning and no sense of being a leader. It doesn't make any sense. Showing that you're a winner it shows you that you can win. You know what it takes to win. It's ridiculous. Yes, showing a high school you can win a championship matters. It's showing that you can win.
There's a really good quarterback on a bad team in Montana that you just hurt his feelings.
Well, yeah, that's too bad. That's too bad. Maybe we'll get a scout out there to see him or something.
Oh my God. I think I'm literally going to look up state rankings for Montana and try and find the QB.
I can't remember. I don't know when the last decent quarterback from Montana has been, other than Joe Montana.
Damn it, you beat me to it. Dude, now I've got the water boy in my head. Joe Montana. He's a quarterback, you idiot. I said Joe Montana.
It's just the whole thing is ridiculous. The argument is ridiculous. You know, I don't get the obsession with these kids and the need to follow them around everywhere too. That's weird.
There's more access than there's ever been.
Yeah, which I understand.
There's more of these competitions. I think NIL is a big factor too, because NIL bleeds into high school, and these guys are building brands, if you will, as sophomores.
Yeah, I mean, they have a right to do that, but
100%.
I mean, recruiting is a dirty game,
dude. I have said this a million times. I have never held the culture of recruiting against the players. It's frankly people like us who have created it. Not literally, but like this industry sometimes is a part of it, but like social media and the way people chase after these recruits and put them up. I've said forever, if I was a 17-year-old, one of the best quarterbacks in the country, I would have been a prick, dude. I mean, and he chased a bag. You're damn right, I chased a bag, dude.
Yeah.
What? Okay, you know, like I think it's, and that's why, like, I love, again, Davis. I come back to that. You said it before too, and we've talked about his family before. But man, props to his parents. Having that head on your shoulders when you've been put on the platform you've been put on at such a young age, I think that's impressive.
Oh yeah,
and maybe
parents for sure.
And maybe that doesn't show up in the scouting report of passing or whatever, but like we talk to kids and coaches and whatever, and like, again, I don't blame some 16-year-olds for feeling and behaving the way they do, because I know I would have been the same or worse. You know, the thing with, I always brought up Justin Bieber. Everyone's like, he needs better people around him. He's 18. He shouldn't be behaving like this. Like, what would you do if you were that rich when you were 18 and the hottest thing in the world? Like, he's going to bars? Yeah, they let him.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Right?
The way you act is just as important as the people you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know, you gotta think about that part. And to speak on Jaden Davis's parents, I mean, they've done a great job raising him, and the kid gets it. You know, from a mental aspect, that's important too in a quarterback. You want a quarterback that gets it from a mental aspect, so he can process things, you know, and process things like a normal person.
Well, and we talked about it with the recruitment too, and some people were frustrated because they felt like it wasn't going at the pace they wanted. I kept saying, like, this isn't a dude that's dragging out the attention getting part of recruiting. He's being very deliberate in his decision making.
Yeah.
And we said when he commits, he's gonna be done. And he made sure that the relationships were where they were, and he was finding the best spot for him. And when he was ready, he committed. And now look, like, he's Michigan. It's done, right?
Yeah, and I think, and also at the same time too, I do think Michigan stumbled over themselves a little bit, which drew out the process.
Thank you, Kirk Campbell.
Kirk Campbell deserves a lot of credit for that too. But yeah, I think this one was trending towards Michigan before that whole offseason debacle happened, and which kind of stretched out the process a little bit.
100%.
But your point still remains. It's still valid. I mean, he was just making sure all his boxes were checked.
I just appreciate you turning us back to Davis so we didn't have to finish on Justin Bieber.